Hey guys, this is Anthony Munda helping you ace your fitness, and today we're going to be talking about gym intimidation or gym-timidation. Now I can see this from two different perspectives. So number one being you're too intimidated to go to the gym at all, or number two being you're okay going to the gym and going to the cardio section, but the weight room kind of freaks you out a little bit. Now I want to start off by saying that if you're going through this, it's completely normal. Now think about anything else you do in life. You're not going to be 100% sure of yourself, when you first start. So there's no need to worry. There are steps you can take to overcome it, but it's completely normal. I remember even when I first started, I would be concerned with who's staring at me, how do I look in this shirt, or, what more fit people are thinking of me. But throughout the years of my experience in the gym, I can honestly tell you that, and I mean this in the most nice way possible, nobody cares what you're doing when you're there. Nobody cares what you look like. They're only concerned with themselves. Now that's not a bad thing. It's just the way it is. Everybody else is so hyper focused on what they're doing and what they look like that they're not paying attention to you. So basically they're thinking the same thing as you. So how I like to think of this is everyone kind of thinks of themselves as their own star of their own movie. So like I said, they're not focused on what you're doing, even though it may seem like it. Now you can really make yourself think that by, there's this thing called a spotlight effect. So you think that, you magnify all your insecurities and you kind of think that everyone else is seeing them just because you do. But to be honest, that's not how it is. And it's good to understand that, because I think we're harder on ourselves than anyone else could ever be. So just realize that when you're there, nobody else is concerned with what you're doing. Now I also want to bring up that gym intimidation just doesn't happen to beginners. I've seen it at, elite levels, because when you're so hyper focused on what you're doing, so when someone is so indulged in their goals or their physique, their strength goals, anything like that, they're going to be so hard on themselves that there's no reason to be nervous around fit people in the gym, because most of the time those people are going to be so extremely obsessed with what they have going on, they're not going to be paying attention to you at all. So I think there's this common belief that they think they're better than you, when that's really not the case. They're extremely hard on themselves to the point where they're not going to see anyone else, or they still have the same insecurities as you do. So don't ever think that, because you might look at the most ripped guy and say, oh man, I wish I could be like that, or when I get like that, I'm not going to be intimidated by anyone. But you don't know what's going through his or her head. He could be very deflated about, he thinks he looks skinny and he wants to be bigger than the guy next to him, but unfortunately he isn't. Or if you look at the strongest, most tough guy in your gym, he might wish that he has a shredded physique. So it's all the same. It just doesn't happen to beginners, so there's no reason to really fret about it. Now I do understand that not everybody understands these things, and that there will be people that will laugh at others and make rude comments, or even think, differently about others. But I can honestly tell you that those are the most insecure people in the gym, because they're trying to reflect their insecurities onto others so that, everyone else doesn't notice theirs. So please understand that if you ever come across someone like that, just know that, you're there to better yourself, and, pay them no mind. So I know what you're thinking, that's all nice, and, I do understand that, but when I get in the gym, I still feel intimidated, or I still feel pressure to, do things the right way, or I feel like everyone's looking at me. And like I said earlier in the video, it is normal, but there are some things you can do to avoid the intimidation, or to feel more comfortable in the gym. So probably the best piece of advice I can give to you to avoid feeling intimidated or uncomfortable in the gym is to wear headphones. So not only will you be motivated to crush your workout, by listening to your favorite songs and you get to enjoy that, but it's gonna get you in your own zone, in your own world, where you're not gonna be paying attention to anyone else, or you're not gonna be thinking about what anyone else is thinking about you. So another huge one is making sure you have a plan before you go into the gym. If you go in there and try to kind of freelance your workout and just kind of go with the flow, that's okay. You can do that sometimes. I do understand how you might want to do that, but you're more vulnerable to kind of wandering around or feeling uncomfortable, or if someone takes a machine that's the only one you feel comfortable with, you're gonna really not know what to do. So my biggest piece of advice with this is to go on YouTube before. You can literally search any routine, any exercise, or literally anything you want. So go on there, or go on a website, anything like that. Kind of get an idea of how you want to structure your workout so that when you get in there, you have a plan and you can execute it. I also want to touch on gym attire. So you hear a lot of people say, you don't need to look pretty when you work out, or it's not a fashion show. Well, I have a different theory on this. If that makes you feel good, looking good when you're at the gym, then do that. For girls, if you feel good with a full face of makeup when you go there, that's totally fine. If not, that's also totally fine. If you want to go there in sweatpants and sweatshirt, that's also totally fine. The most important thing when you're going to the gym is that you're comfortable, working out in. So if you feel comfortable wearing, expensive clothing, or if you feel comfortable wearing, just your everyday clothes, it's totally okay. And another thing with this, there's no need to copy or even pay attention to what anyone else is wearing, because it all comes down to you. So wear what you feel most comfortable, and that's a huge one. And lastly, if you're feeling uncomfortable or intimidated in the gym, try to go with a friend or a buddy. Think of any other social situation. You're gonna feel 100 times better when you're there with someone else because you're comfortable with them and you get to talk to them, as opposed to being there alone and kind of, not talking to anyone or feeling awkward. So do that. And another thing with this is, if you go with someone, make sure you're still able to get your workout in, because, I see a lot of people who go with gym partners and, the workout isn't as intense, or there's a lot of talking going on. There's nothing wrong with that. Not every workout has to be so intense, but make sure you're still working out, because that's what you're there for. So if you feel uncomfortable, try going there with a friend. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you've ever had to deal with gym intimidation, or if you have any other tips or strategies to kind of overcome it. Please let me know if there's any other topics you'd like me to do a video on. I'm very open to any topic, so comment down below and let me know. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.